As a superintendent, collaboration is incredibly important, both from the onset of any major idea to the ultimate design and completion of a project. And we have had a facilities committee that has been in place for some time, and that committee has shifted. Back in 2018, when I arrived, the committee was made up of mostly internal stakeholders, so those who understood what the challenges were within our buildings. And so back in 2019, you're aware, we had an issue that ultimately did not pass in the community, and as I sit here today, I believe truly that it was a blessing. The facilities committee was put back together roughly in November of 2021 and began meeting in December, just prior to our winter break. And that committee was very different than the initial committee. That committee included all facets of our community, so business owners. It included some of our retired individuals. It included staff members from our buildings where we know we currently have challenge. It included parents of very young children at our early childhood learning community. And so children that would ultimately see the benefits of working together in a collaborative group to determine really what is the best plan for North Ridgeville. And that community organically was able to come up with the idea that we needed to appeal to the broader scope of North Ridgeville. Right now, we have roughly 20% of our households that have a direct connection to our school. And so 80% of the community of North Ridgeville isn't truly involved with what happens here every day at North Ridgeville City Schools. And the idea then was born within that committee in 3 small groups. In fact, each group came up with the idea that we needed to provide space for the community, provide an opportunity for potentially a rec center. In fact, the words multi-generational educational settings is something that came out loud and clear within each of those groups. And that was an organic process that 3 separate groups within the facilities committee brought forward. And from that, we were able to get some suggestions on some ideas of where we could visit, what other communities we could look at who took on the challenge of a collaborative project such as this. And after those tours, we had a facilities committee that was extremely excited about the future of North Ridgeville. And as we think it would be important to me, again, once we pass this bond issue in November, to be able to bring our stakeholders in and talk about what is it that they would like to see in terms of programmatic space within the buildings. What do we want the buildings to look like? Our teachers, how do we want classrooms set up? How much storage do they need? Things that are important to those that are in the spaces every single day. And ultimately design those buildings that we can all be proud of. Again, as a superintendent, there is nothing more important than being collaborative, and this is one of those things that, it's not my building, this is the community's building, and they need to be a heavy voice in how we construct and design these buildings for the future of North Ridgeville.